Alright, in this next section we talk about another way to write equations of lines, and this is point-slope form. Alright, so again we have these terms, slope again, rise over run. Okay, it's denoted by the value or the variable m. Okay, point-slope form now. Point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, where x1 and y1 represent a ordered pair for a point on your line, and m represents the slope. X and y stay the same, okay, throughout, because they are common variables. All right, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, and what we're going to have to do sometimes in this section is get from point-slope form to y-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. All right, so using point-slope form. All right, point-slope form is good when we have a point from our line and the slope. So just any point and the slope, not just the y-intercept like previous sections. Okay, so point-slope form again is this formula. Okay, and what we're going to do with point-slope form is we're going to substitute in for these values. Alright, we have our x1 and y1, which represent the x-coordinate and y-coordinate from the point we get, and we have the slope. Alright, so in our first example we have the slope is 4, and the point we have is 3, 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to sub in the values for 4, 3, and 2. Okay, of 4, 3, and 2. So y1 is 2. The y value, the y coordinate is 2 from our point. So we're going to sub that in for y1. So it's going to be y minus 2 equals m, which is 4, times x minus x1, which is the x coordinate for the point we get, which is 3. Alright, and that's all we have to do for this part, just sub in the values. Okay, let's do that again. Y minus y1, in this case y1 is negative 5, equals m times x minus the x coordinate. Alright, I'm just going to clean this up a little bit because I have two negative signs next to each other. And that's it for this part. Okay, now what we're going to do is the same thing, but we're going to take this a step further, and we're going to go from point-slope form back to slope-intercept form. Okay, so we want our answers to have y by itself. Okay, so here we go. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, and you guys don't have to write this again if you remember it. Alright, so y minus the y coordinate, which is negative 4, equals m, which is negative 3, times x minus 2, which is the x coordinate. Alright, now we're going to simplify and try to get this equation here to look like that. Alright, so y minus negative 4 is really y plus 4. Okay, and then over here on the right side we have negative 3 times x minus 2, and if you remember, if we have that parenthesis here, we're going to distribute the negative 3. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. Alright, and then the last step is to get y by itself. So how do we get y by itself? All we have to do is get rid of this 4. So I'm going to do the opposite of 4, which is negative 4. And I'm going to do it on the other side too. So I'm left with y equals negative 3x plus 2. Alright? And if we had to identify the slope and the y-intercept, our slope now we know is negative 3, and the y-intercept is 2. Alright, let's look at this example over here. The slope is 5, and our x value, our x coordinate is negative 1, and our y coordinate is 4 from the point on our graph. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Clean this up a little bit. Distributive property, 5 times x, 5 times 1, and then we get y by itself. Alright, now we have our equation in slope-intercept form. Alright, parallel line, right? In slope-intercept form, the equation of line that is parallel to the line y equals 3x minus 1 and passes through the point 3, negative 1. Alright, so this line right here is parallel to the line we have to write the equation for. So this line right here, I'm just going to draw a quick sketch of it. Looks something like this. Alright, but we want to write an equation for a line that's parallel to it that passes through this point. Alright, and that point is right here. So the line we're going to draw should look something like this. Something like this, a little better probably. So we got to figure out that equation for that line. Alright, and let's make some estimations here. What do you think the y-intercept is going to be? Well, when I drew the line, it's way down here in the negatives, so I should get a y-intercept that's negative. Alright, and then what do we know about parallel lines? Well, we learned previously that parallel lines have the same slope. Okay, so if this line's slope is 3, then this line's slope is also 3. Okay, so now we have the slope of our line, and we have a point for our line. So we got to use point slope form. Y minus y1, which is negative 1, equals m, which is 3, times x minus 3. This, alright? Simplify, distribute, alright, and then get y by itself. Alright, we get y equals 3x minus 10. Alright, and if you notice, the y-intercept is negative 10, and my line, if I drew it straight enough, should have gone down and passed through here. Okay, try some on your own. Alright, and good luck.